Poultry production is a billion-dollar industry in Maryland. If that sounds high, consider this. The average American eats 92 pounds of chicken a year. A fraction of it begins here, on sixth-generation farmer Alan Davis's Kent County farm. His operation in Galena, Rich Levels Poultry, raises 1 million chickens a year. Plus, he grows 4,000 acres of grain under the name Rich Levels Grain.
We're spreading poultry manure over this cover crop planted last fall. We're preparing for a corn crop.
Alan's chickens produce a lot of manure, so like many farmers, he spreads it over his fields in the spring to fertilize his crops. It's cheaper, and Alan says it works better than synthetic fertilizer.
For us, it's really proven to be just a complete fertilizer. You're adding some organic matter, but a slow-release nitrogen, certainly phosphorus, some potassium, and quite a number of micronutrients that really promote great crops.
But Alan's farm isn't far from the Sassafras River, a direct link to the Chesapeake Bay. Any nutrients that escape his farm and make their way to the water can fuel algal growth that disrupts the delicate ecosystem there, killing marine life.
There's no one in agriculture that wants to pollute the bay. We have been all about trying to improve our techniques.
But for years, farmers and conservationists have been at odds over poultry manure. Things like the amount farmers apply and how and when they use it. These battles played out publicly, in the media, and in the state legislature, with conservationists typically pushing for more regulations and farmers pushing back.
From the standpoint of being a farmer, grain producer, poultry producer here on Delmarva, it was a never-ending battle when it came to bay issues. You always knew that you were going to have a fight in the fall when the legislature started up here in Maryland.
But from the standpoint of a conservationist like Jeff Horstman, executive director of ShoreRivers, the merger of 3 Eastern Shore river keepers.
Long term, I think we're seeing some incremental improvement. I'm very frustrated at how long it takes. And I'm frustrated at the amount of pollution that we still have in the bay.
ShoreRivers works with farmers to address environmental issues like nutrient and sediment runoff. One of those projects is a sediment pond and wetland. It's in Galena, too, not far from Alan's property. Here on Oldfields Farm, the Starkey family raises 1,400 acres of corn, wheat, and soybeans, plus a mix of vegetables like lima beans, spinach, kale, and collard greens.
Because there's a lot of irrigated land here and it's hilly, it creates a lot of runoff.
And on this particular morning, following a night of heavy rain.
Right now you can see the water's pretty nasty there. It's full of sediment and nutrients. You can maybe see an inch into the water. The way this is designed, this sediment pond here is going to remove 35 tons of sediment on an annual basis from flowing into our river. This treatment wetland is going to reduce 2,500 pounds of nitrogen and 100 pounds of phosphorus from flowing into our river.
In order to install projects like this, conservation groups like ShoreRivers need to work together with farmers. Just a few years ago, doing something like this would have been tough.
There was a lot of mistrust 10 years ago, and environmentalists would not be able to get access to farms to put in projects.
And there was a lot of debate back and forth as to who was causing the Chesapeake Bay problems, what needed to be done to solve those problems. And it was just an ongoing battle between the conservationists and agriculture.
But today, both Alan and Jeff agree something's changed. Farmers and conservationists are getting along, working together toward shared goals to clean up the bay. They say part of the reason is this group, the Delmarva Land and Litter Challenge, formed in 2014.
The main goal was to have everybody sit down around a table and talk about our concerns.
Farmers, conservationists, and representatives from government, universities, and agricultural businesses.
Through Delmarva Land and Litter, we've gotten to know the agricultural community as people, as opposed to an adversary. And it helps us when we approach legislative issues, regulation issues, and water quality issues.
I definitely had a question in my mind as to how long the group could stay together. I think a lot of credit goes to the organizers of the group. And, there was a lot of open-mindedness that came into it.
Members work together in committees to tackle questions like just how much excess poultry manure is produced on the shore, and what's the safest way to move it where it's needed.
And we're able to talk it out. And when you have that type of communication and cooperation going on, it gives me hope.
Of course, there are still disagreements, plenty of them. But by working through them respectfully, there is hope for solutions.
My goal is simple. I want nutrient reduction to our watersheds. And if this collaborative allows us, and it has allowed us, to build bridges to reduce nutrients, then I think it's been successful.